City Hall likes to ban toys and Happy Meals, but they can't fill potholes. But I'm a pretty practical, common sense person, and I think a city, a city government, its basic function would be potholes and making sure the muni runs on time. And I think it's outside of the scope of what supervisors should do when it comes to some of these issues like the toys and the Happy Meals or what's going on in Palestine. These are worthy issues to talk about and debate in society, but a city government needs to focus on a functioning, running city.
In this city, it's probably hard to hold to that position because
well, Jon Stewart, we're great material for the Daily Show. He loves to, and it's funny to have a liberal TV show look at us as to poke fun of. So sometimes it's embarrassing. Like I would want San Francisco to be a real world-class city and not be a laughingstock.
You started out as a journalist, I believe, or that was your major, and then you tell us about your trajectory.
Well, I was born and raised in Michigan, General Motors factory town of Saginaw, and went to Michigan State. Actually, I was raised by my mom and my grandmother. My mother was a single mom. My grandmother was a young widow. And so I learned a lot from them. So a lot of what I'm doing today is based on how I was brought up. And so I was brought up by two women who were struggling, who didn't have any money, didn't have any connections, and I learned how to survive on a budget and by your wits and on your merit. And so I eventually won a scholarship to go to Michigan State, and then I went into journalism. And for me, journalism was a sense of public service because you could illuminate truths, you could hold authorities accountable, look out for the little guy. Then I got my first big job at ABC News, Network News in New York, at a good 9 to 5 job at 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. on the overnight.
It's a job on a network.
Yeah, and but working on the overnight, I got to produce some spots. Learned a lot there, how to do production and how to tell stories. Missed the purity of print journalism, so came to the West Coast and worked at the Los Angeles Times for a bit, and then was offered a position at San Francisco Weekly to write cover stories. So a 25-year-old kid was going to want to come and do cover stories, so I came up here, even though my LA Times editor said, you're ruining your career to go to some weekly rag. But did good work at the Weekly, and that's where I covered local politics. Actually, that was the genesis of why I'm running for supervisor in San Francisco. It was there at the Weekly where I really got to see and learn how San Francisco government works and in all of its craziness. So I go into this eyes wide open because it's it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
And then after the Weekly, did you went to Harvard and got an advanced degree?
Yeah, after the Weekly, I went back to that video. I had a love of video, and so I actually made a documentary film for PBS. And then, as an outcropping of that, I worked for the ACLU and created a video department for them because it was important that not just to win in the court of law, but to win in the court of public opinion.
How important.
And so it's about story and moving people's emotion about an issue. And what can do that more than a film or a video? And so that's what I did, and as a result of that, I won another scholarship later in life as a old student, which is a good time to be a student because you're really focused on what you want to do. And I was lucky to win this scholarship to Harvard, to the Kennedy School, and I studied public policy and got a master in public administration. And so from there, I thought, this is a new version of public service. I can come back and run for District 7 supervisor and combine all these transferable skills and really bring that journalistic mindset into City Hall, because often journalists hold city government accountable from the outside, but I can do it from the inside and be a real advocate for people and be real independent.
But the reality of the office, it's not that it wears you down, but the picture changes, I think.
But that's why I say I go in with eyes wide open.
Yeah. Because
I covered this. I saw the snake. I wrote about the snake pit.
Yeah.
And I know certainly what the snake pit is. And but I feel that I'm going to address it as that journalist mentality.
District 7, kind of a little more conservative than how San Francisco is perceived.
The old joke, I think Herb Cain once said, we're the city and county of San Francisco. Well, District 7, that's the county. For decades, it has been the social conservative and fiscal conservative area of San Francisco. In District 7, there's actually areas where 50% of the voters supported Prop 8, which was to ban gay marriage.
As an openly gay candidate, is that something you can campaign on?
See, I look at my candidacy as opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Opportunity on fiscal matters and how a city is run and common sense and all that, but also opportunity meaning when I look at south of Sloat where 50% of the people decided that they wanted to ban gay marriage, and this is the red hottest part of San Francisco, Republicans live there, then I see, but half of the people said it was okay.
Yeah.
And that's the opening.
Good.
And then you look at, and then you see the demographic shift going on in District 7. You've got, every Sunday it's the same story at the open houses. Elderly woman has lived there, she's a widow, she's been there 50, 60 years, she's passed on, and now who's buying that house? Gay couple, a
Yeah.
young Asian family,
Yeah.
a Google engineer, and they're going to be with you on gay marriage and all kinds of social justice issues. They might be still
I
fiscally
think
conservative,
you're right. I
but
think
they're
you're right.
going to. And so I think by and large, it's not going to be an issue for most of the electorate.
What issues do you see as important to your district?
In the mosaic that San Francisco is, we have to have a place like 7 where there are these single-family homes because it just adds to San Francisco's diversity.
Absolutely.
But we can't take advantage of them because the homeowners feel like they're the city's ATM, and that it's just not a fair way to, or a sustainable way, to budget our city to lean on just 35% of the population. Because what happens is you take their money and put it in the general fund, and then if you squander it on pet projects and you don't focus on street repair and potholes like you're supposed to, then what happens? Last fall, we had to come back and ask for a bond to fix the streets.
Yeah.
Well, who paid for that? The homeowners. They
Yeah.
paid for those potholes twice, and their streets aren't twice as good. So that's why I go back to why I'm running for supervisor. Our city likes to ban toys and Happy Meals, but they can't fill potholes. We're going to fill some potholes.
Well, Joel, we're running out of time.
All right.
I want to thank you. Do you have a parting kind of an idea that you want to convey to the viewers?
I would say go to my website. The San Francisco Chronicle calls my website smart, so I hope you agree.
Okay.
It's Engardio.com. That's Engardio, Engardio.com. And check it out. We have video, we have essays, we have all kinds of fun stuff.
You're probably on Facebook.
Facebook.
Joel Engardio.
That's right.
He'll take all the friends he can get, probably.
That's right.
Anyway, thanks again.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see you soon. I hope you win.